Getting beat up by 9 guys in Syracuse, to me, there's not a whole lot of shame.
Welcome to the Heel to the Face podcast.
And this right here,
with your hosts, Jarod Wicks, Brandon Icebreaker Clements, and Paul Boy Green Esden.
It doesn't matter what your name is. And that's the bottom line. Because Stone Cold
I have received an email.
Don't forget to email the show at heeltotheface@hotmail.com.
Best there is, the best there was, or the best there ever will be.
Brett screwed Brett because it's what's best for business.
To be the man, you gotta beat the man. The champ is here. Oh yeah, New Day Rock. And if you're not down with that, we got 2 more for ya.
Tweet us using the handle at Heel to the Face.
Woo! Let's get ready to sucker!
The bell is rung, so let's step in the ring with your hosts, Paul, Brandon, and Jarod.
I might as well tag me up with my buddies from Syracuse.
This is the Heel to the Face podcast for the 4th week of May, 2017. You are listening to us live right now on Sports War Radio, Rat Pack Radio, and on iTunes. And we are joined this week, as always, with Brandon, the Icebreaker Clements. You can find him on Twitter at Icebreaker21. Via the phone lines, Paul, Boy Green Esden. You can find him on Twitter at BoyGreen25. And myself, Jarod, just Jarod Wicks. You can find me at just Jarod Wicks on Twitter. And it was a busy week in the WWE. There was pay-per-views, there was Raw, there was SmackDown. Outside of that, there really wasn't much else, but those are enough right there. And let's just get things started. Our main event topic of the evening, and it's Backlash. I don't know why they didn't give it to Muhammad Hassan. I don't know why they didn't give it to the Great Khali. But finally, somebody is representing India in the White House of WWE Championship Kingdom. It's Jinder Mahal. Brandon, what is your opinion on Jinder Mahal being your new WWE champion? I know neither of us had him in our picks last week.
No, I said that they would, give him the title maybe, next pay-per-view. I wasn't expecting it this quick. I'm okay with it. I mean, I think he's halfway decent on the mic. I did like we'll get to it a little bit later, the SmackDown celebration. I think he is the 50th WWE champion of all time, too. I think that's what it was. So it was, I enjoyed it. I thought it was a halfway decent match. I don't know. I was watching the match and I'm sitting here looking at, Randy Orton was, I think it was the double DDT of the Singh brothers. And I saw Jinder Mahal, going in the background, kind of going to the back, going to the back side of the ring. I'm like, oh, they're setting this up. So he goes in and, finishes him off. I'm like, at first, I'm like, all right. But you know what? The fans complain about everything. There's no such thing as everybody in the WWE universe happy. But it's nice to have change. I mean, Randy Orton's been a champion multiple times. You got the John Cena's have had the championship multiple times. It's good to see a fresh face, and I'm looking forward to seeing how this title reign unfolds. But I do see him holding on to the title for a little bit. I saw a funny joke on I think it was on Twitter. John Cena returns around the 4th of July weekend and defeats him. So
is this too fresh of a face, Paul?
Absolutely not. And guys, I told you. And you guys might as well consider changing your handles to the Maharaja, okay? Because I told you guys Jinder Mahal was going to win. You told me, Jarod, that he was going to go down in the annals of history like the Muhammad Hassans and the Great Khalis, and I was doing a jig during the Punjabi celebration on SmackDown Live because it's about time. Jinder Mahal is fit. I think he's a great champion, although I think, as opposed to Brandon, I think he needs to work a little on the mic. His whole
I don't think he's that bad. I mean, I'm not saying he's the best talker, but
I want to argue that it's about time. What do you mean it's about time? 3 weeks ago, there was no Jinder Mahal in this universe. I mean, yes, he existed, but it would literally be like saying it's about time that Oksana is a 16-time women's champion. You're like, whoa, she's still in NXT. What do you mean it's about time? Like, it's not about time. He's not Dolph Ziggler over here that's been in WWE now for like 10 years with, maybe like a title reign here and there, but for the most part, just kind of on the mid-card. He's not Heath Slater, who at least has been Heath Slater this whole time. Jinder Mahal has been in 3MB, and he's also been nothing. And then as of like a very, very recent, meaning like he wasn't even on the WrestleMania card.
He was Rusev's sidekick at one point, too.
He was not even on the WrestleMania card. He didn't even get an entrance in the pre-show Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal. So how do you say it's about time? It's not like this was 6 main events in a row and he finally cracked it.
They were saving him. That's what it was.
So let me clarify. It's about time because, Jared, when me and you went to that live event where Jinder Mahal was getting pushed around by Big Cass and Enzo, and they were running around, hyping up the crowd, I feel like Jinder Mahal has been an underutilized talent for a long time.
Jinder Mahal was on that show? I don't even remember. Yeah. That's how low Jinder Mahal is on the scale of WWE talent. He was I think I might have been in the bathroom.
WWE reveal. They haven't done a great job of representing him as a unique talent. And I think that this is a great opportunity, and he obviously seized it by beating Randy Orton fair and square. The Bollywood boys, they were basically spectators. They didn't really affect the final decision. So, again, it's finally time for the Maharaja to lead, and I want to see how far this goes.
Now, my question is, though, where is Rusev in all this? I thought it was a foregone conclusion like the Brock Lesnar thing on Raw that now it was going to be Rusev, but all of a sudden Shane McMahon at SmackDown says we're just going to get the Randy Orton versus Jinder Mahal rematch. So what are we getting? So what happened with the Rusev? And when are the New Day coming?
Yeah, they've been teasing that and the whole Lana thing for a while, too. So I'm really, I don't know what they're holding out for at this point. But Backlash, I thought, was a phenomenal pay-per-view. Money in the Bank on its own right is going to be a good pay-per-view, regardless of what happens with Rusev, New Day, and some of these other guys are kind of holding back. I just don't know what they're going to hold them for, and can they hold them this long and utilize the talent that's on the roster to just kind of maintain the flow up until they reveal the intentions for Rusev, because Rusev is interesting, because he said he's coming back at Money in the Bank, but who is he going to face? He wanted championship opportunity, and it seems like he's not going to be in the Money in the Bank. I mean, clearly that's it. He's not going to be in the main championship. What is his angle going to be over the next month?
Now, my question is, now Jinder Mahal, he's got the Indian descent, but do you feel that he's safer than Muhammad Hassan? Because it's hard, though, because he's a villain, and he has that Middle Eastern culture, but is he safer than Muhammad Hassan as a champion? Is he less offensive?
I think so, basically from the standpoint, something that I criticize is something that the WWE is utilizing, is that his whole, the cut of his jib is basically, they don't like me because of how I talk and how I look and all those things. They're not doing, they took the terroristic angle with Muhammad Hassan, and I feel like WWE is kind of learning from their mistakes. They still have the scars from some of the times that they've messed up the Muhammad Hassan thing, and I think they're going to utilize that angle again. But that's also the same angle that I criticized just a minute ago, that I think that he's riding that too hard on the mic. I think there's different ways he can go, and he can kind of seize the day that finally someone outside the norm maybe utilize that same kind of phraseology to saying that finally somebody else is getting their reign.
So, other than that, let's start with you, Brandon. What was your take on the entire Backlash card? The only championship that changed hands was this one, and I didn't really, to be honest with you, I was watching this pay-per-view, a lot of hit and miss. I was watching it on a phone in a car until the main event. I saw the main event in person, but the rest I was watching on a phone in a car, which, let me tell you, if you were to go back in time and talk to 12-year-old Just Jarod, I mean, this is like saying that I was going to be a millionaire, because I didn't even care about being a millionaire in my late 20s and early 30s. If you told me I could watch a wrestling pay-per-view in a car in HD, I mean, I was excited. I remember a friend bought a wrestling pay-per-view on Sunday in the summertime, and I knew he was going to buy it. And it was like the week before, and I just wanted the whole week to go by, even though it was summertime. I was like, yeah, I don't care about pools and amusement parks. Like, this guy's buying Invasion. I can't wait to watch Invasion. And, like, it was like a movie theater at his house when, like, that FBI warning comes up, and you're like, you really bought this. Your mom really let you buy this. And now I'm watching it like it's nothing. Like, I'm sneezing. Like, I'm watching Backlash
on my
phone in a car.
Yep.
Like, sneeze. I remember back in the day, if you told me that I was going to be out of town on a pay-per-view Sunday, I wouldn't have really cared, because I knew that if I was home, I still would not have been watching the pay-per-view, because my parents weren't going to buy it for me. I wasn't going to be able to stay up and watch it. So it's just so crazy. It would be like watching the Super Bowl in person while watching the Stanley Cup Finals on your phone, and like, drinking Chardonnay with your other hand. That's what I equivalent this to. It's just insane that I was watching this. So I was kind of in and out on the pay-per-view card, and I didn't really notice that the titles didn't change hands because I actually lost service a few times when the actual finishes of the 2 title matches, and I had to go back. That's another thing. You can rewind it immediately.
That's nice.
And watch it. But I had to go back, so I wasn't really thinking too much like, hey, no championships have changed hands until the show came to a close, and I realized, yeah, well, that's the only championship that changed hands. So, Brandon, your opinion on the Backlash card as a whole, thumbs up, thumbs down?
I'm going to go thumbs up, and I'm also going to say that the phrase that pays is the artist known of Shinsuke Nakamura finally made his debut.
Now, it was a good match, but were you a fan of him winning the match?
Absolutely. 100%. I mean, I said that from the beginning. I'm a Ziggler guy. I've always been a big fan of his work. He's a great technician in the ring, and he's great on the mic. But if you're hyping Shinsuke, you gotta push him. That's just the way I look at it. If you're pushing him, all right, he's gonna make his debut on a pay-per-view. You can't have him lose. I don't think that angle would have worked. But it was a solid match. I feel like it was the best match on the card this past Sunday. And that was my opinion of it. I think it was the best match. I did, however, like the, not to change gears too much, I did like the tag team championship match. Even though Breezango did not win, I thought it was very entertaining. What do you guys think about that one?
Paul, you go ahead.
Yeah, Brandon, you stole my thunder here. This had the chance to be one of the greatest wrestling weeks in the history of the WWE, with the Maharaja winning the title and the Fashion Police getting screwed out of their championship opportunity. They get another one on SmackDown Live, and I'm like, here we go. WWE can fix their mistake from Backlash, and the Fashion Police can get... I love the gimmick.
So do I.
I love the whole thing. I love the gimmick at Backlash with the switching of costumes. I thought that was fantastic.
The master of disguise.
Yes, I really bought into it. I'm going to be honest, because Fandango on the whole, that's one of those guys like the Funkadactyls that, once you make that career decision, or sometimes it's not even your choice, obviously. Sometimes that's a role you're given or you're fired. But once you take on that role, you're infected for life, and I don't think there's any coming back from that. I thought Fandango was going to be this, he's going to be a shooting star. He's going to have his little gimmick. People are going to like it, and then they're going to move on. But now that he's kind of teamed up with another guy who I thought wasn't going anywhere in Tyler Breeze, and for them to just turn into this Breezango thing, and now the evolution of the Fashion Police, I'm really excited about it. Obviously, you guys know I'm not the biggest fans of the Usos in the world, but they've grown on me over the weeks. But I thought there was a missed opportunity for, as Jarod was just saying, with a championship opportunity to flip and kind of mix things up.
Now, let's move on to Luke Harper, Eric Rowan. I thought that was one of the most underrated matches on the card. Luke Harper got the win. I felt that Eric Rowan needed the win because he's kind of the newer face that you're starting to build up. Now, after this match has come to a conclusion, Luke Harper beating Eric Rowan, what do you see? Do you see them finally? Now, that is somebody. Luke Harper is Jinder Mahal. Luke Harper is what we were just talking about when you said finally, it's about time. Luke Harper, when's his time coming? They give him the win. Eric Rowan just comes back recently, tries to get himself back in the fold. They hype him up. I thought he was going to beat Luke Harper because I thought he was on the rise. Luke Harper, though, he's staying the steady course of being successful, of being victorious, and he wins again over Eric Rowan, and he's taken Bray Wyatt right to the limit. When is Luke Harper's time?
Here's my thing. Luke Harper puts on solid matches. He's a great performer. He's a unique character. And this is not to diss on Luke Harper by any means. I don't think he's had that it match yet, where it's like that showcase where it's like, all right, man, this guy's an A+ player. He's very talented, but I don't think he's had that. Wow, that was one hell of a match. Man, he's going to be a champion like right away. I haven't seen that yet. He's had good matches, but I haven't seen a wow match yet.
What about you, Paul?
I would disagree with that, Brandon. I think he's had a lot of it matches that I thought were phenomenal. I think WWE creative is just confused on what to do with him, because you had that opportunity where it could have been like some sort of triple threat at WrestleMania with Bray Wyatt, Randy Orton, and Luke Harper. Then they kind of let that fade away. Then they had all these different unique opportunities. Now Bray Wyatt's in this 5-way elimination match. He's completely removed now from Luke Harper. Luke Harper beats Eric Rowan. Now kind of Luke Harper's kind of sitting there, and you're wondering, now what's the next step? Because he continues to win. He continues to be like on the underrated, but people are aware of the fact, like us, where these heel to the face insiders are aware that this guy continues to win. He continues to be up on the rise. But where is he going to go? Because how is he going to get those championship